Hello guys, I'm Unblessed Data, and welcome to another review. This time we have Breaking Bad Season 5, Episode 14. After this, there is only two more, let me repeat that, two more episodes of Breaking Bad left. What a shame, because this episode did not let down. Even Episode 13 was extraordinarily good, and this one, same premise. It was amazing. And it's sad to see the show ending, but it's ending on a high note. I mean, everything is great about this show, and I guess there will be a spinoff called Better Call Saul, so we can see how the spinoff is. Usually spinoffs aren't as good as the actual show, but I guess we'll see. But anyway, let's get right into this episode. But before we do, I just want to let you guys know it will contain spoilers, so if you do not want to know what happened, watch the episode and come back. So let's start right off. We see a flashback. It's like they don't really want to show you what happened with the shootout right away, so they show you a flashback, and it's Walter and Jesse's, they're cooking in the desert where they are in the present right now with the shooting and everything. Same spot. It's their first cook, and, Walter has his hair and everything. It's right when the show was just beginning. And this is actually the first time Walt said a lie to Skyler. And he says, the boss is keeping me late, blah, blah, blah. And it's just really significant to show you, this is how it started. And this is where it's at now. One little white lie turns into this. It's really awesome that they did that, but it's just suppressing the fact that you want to see what happens with the shootout. So the present fades in, and we see Hank on the floor. He's shot in the leg, and Gomez is just dead on the floor. And, right away, someone's dead. Gomez is dead. So Todd's uncle, Jack, walks up to Hank, and they say, Jesse's gone. We can't find him. And Walter tries to stop Jack from killing Hank, because Jack has a gun right to Hank's head, saying, I guess it's time for you to die, basically like that. But Walter's like, no, stop. I have $80 million buried here, and I'll give it to you if you spare him. And, and he says, let him live, and I'll give you the money. And basically, Walter's like, don't you agree with that, Hank? Come on, I'm trying to save your life here. And Jack kind of just says, you know what, I don't really care. Shoots Hank after Hank says, go F yourself, because, Hank goes out with a bang. Yeah, he has to. But, so then Jack shoots Hank right in the head, and that's the end of Hank. So Walter collapses after that, and he's just laying on this floor with his black hole mouth. I don't know, Bryan Cranston, he does this thing with his mouth. Even in Malcolm in the Middle, he does the same thing. Well, the face where he goes whoa, when he's shocked. His mouth, does a certain thing. It looks like he has, a black hole in his mouth. I don't know, whatever. He does that, and he just falls on the floor, and he's just completely in shock. So then Todd's men start to dig up, and they find all of Walt's money. And they take the money, and they leave Hank and Gomez in the hole and bury them there. Now, Jack goes up to Walt, and he says, you know what, Todd really respects you, and, he wouldn't want me to see you kill you, and blah, blah, blah. So they leave Walt one barrel. And he says, before Jack leaves, Walt says, you still owe me Jesse Pinkman. And Jesse's hiding under Walt's car. So Jack and his men pull out Jesse and basically have a gun to his head now. And they say, all right, you good? Right here, let's kill him right now. And Walt's he nods, but it's a really slight nod, almost like he doesn't want to kill him. But then Todd comes in and stops them from killing Jesse. And before Jesse dies, he looks up into the sky and he sees two birds flying. Very symbolic of, Jesse's former girlfriend died from an overdose. And I think that was just a symbol to symbolize, if he dies, he's with her, basically in the sky, like that in heaven, basically. Nice symbolism right there. But Todd stops Jack from killing Jesse, and he says, wait, maybe Jesse told the cops some important things that we should know about, so let's interrogate him a little, then kill him. So Walt's like, yeah, whatever. So Walt gets into his car, and Jack's men are off with all his money, basically. He has a couple million, but he had $80 million. That's ridiculous. And basically all of it is gone now. He only has 1/10 of that. So Walt's in his car driving away, and it runs out of gas because Jesse poked a hole in the gas. Not Jesse, a bullet went through in the shootout and everything. So Walt just starts walking with the barrel. He's rolling the barrel through the desert, and he ends up finding this old house with this old man in it. And the old man has a truck, and he's like, I'm buying your truck, basically. So he buys a truck from the guy. So all of a sudden, we go to a different scene, and Marie shows up at the car wash, and, you're starting to think, man, Hank's dead. How is she going to take it? That's what was going through my head right there. But Marie tells Skylar that Walt has been arrested, and she's like, you know what? First of all, I want a copy of all of the CDs you made of that horrible lie about Hank. Like, she's just like stuck in the past, basically. And Marie wants Skylar to tell Walt Jr. everything. Like, you're basically she just wants him to go up to him and say, yeah, your dad's a drug dealer. Just yeah. So obviously Skylar doesn't want to do that, but they go through with it. Now we go to a scene with Jesse, and he's in a cell, an underground cell. Everything's black, it's just concrete, right? And his face is all cut up. You can tell they've been torturing him. He has like a huge black swollen eye. Todd brings him out of the hole and brings him into the lab. And Todd ties him up on a harness type thing, so he can only move, like, where he's moving is like guided by this like wire on a chain. So he's still being held captive, and he looks around, and there's a picture of Brock on the wall. So basically they're saying, do what we say or we're going to kill Brock, basically. And Todd comes in, and he's just like, okay, let's cook. So obviously they're going to use him to his advantage. If they can't get Walt, Jesse's almost just as good as Walt. So, if anyone's going to teach Todd, it's him. So then we go to Marie and Skylar again, and they tell Walt Jr. that everything that happened and the truth. And he flips out, and he starts like swearing stuff. He goes crazy. So, and he says, if all this is true and you knew about this, then you're just as bad as him. And I think that's when the light bulb went off in Skylar's head and said, I can't do this anymore. And we see the repercussions of that later. So Skylar, Walt Jr. Arrive at home, and Walt's already there. And he's packing everything. He's ready to leave because he knows Hank's dead, Gomez is dead. They're going to look for him, and it's going to ultimately lead to him. So, like, hey, we need to leave right now, blah, blah, blah. And Skylar's like, I thought you were in custody. Where's Hank? And he's like, don't worry about Hank. He's fine, blah, blah, blah. He's like, just pack everything, and we need to get out of here. We can have a new life, new fresh start. And then Skylar's just like, you killed Hank, didn't you? And Skylar just grabs a knife. And of course, Walt Jr.'s in the background freaking out still. Like, Dad, talk to me. Like, what's going on? Skylar grabs a knife, and she just points it at Walt to get out. And Walt's like, no, just wait. And she just slices Walt, and his hand's all cut up now. And they wrestle over the knife. They're on the floor, like, flipping over each other, just grabbing the knife. Walt Jr. just throws his crutches down, jumps in, and, like, tackles Mr. White, Walter, and he's holding his mom back, and Walter still has the knife, but he's standing up now, and Walt Jr. calls the police and says, I need help, my dad has a knife, and he pulled it out on my mom. No, Skylar pulled it out. Whatever. But, Walter's in trouble now, and the police are going to come, so Walt just grabs Holly, the baby, and he goes in the car and just leaves. And we go to this scene, really touching scene, where Walt's changing Holly, and all she is saying is, Mama, Mama, and it's just like, Walt's like, how did I get in this position? Like, this is not what I wanted. So the police are at Walt's house now, and they are tracing a call because the phone rang, and it's Walter. So, and Walt is just basically snapped at this point, and he's like, you cross me, and there'll be consequences. You're always whining and complaining while I do everything, and then you go tell my son what I do. I built this all myself alone. Watch yourself, or you're gonna end up like Hank. And Skylar says, and Marie's there also with the police and everything, and saying like, where's Hank? We need to know. And it says you're never gonna see Hank again. And all Skylar says is, please, Walt, just come home. And he says, no, I still have things left to do. And it was just a really touching moment because he's saying all this. And he even says, like, I'll kill family and all. And before he was saying, no, I'm never going to kill family. That's like, I'm not going to cross that line. And now he's way past that. Even though he didn't kill Hank, he was trying to protect Hank. It's just, he snapped. He's like a complete villain at this point. And he's crying, too, while he's saying this. Like, there's a lot of regret in his voice. He didn't want this to happen. And he's seeing the repercussions of doing everything that he's done, killing all these people, like making meth, like all of this has come to a boiling point now, and this is the height of it. And with only 2 more episodes left, what's gonna happen? I don't know, but he still has that machine gun and the ricin, so maybe he's gonna go after Jack, kill him, and take his money back. That's the only thing I can see. But with all the twists Breaking Bad has done, this can go any way at this point. So. But Walt leaves Holly in a fire truck in a fire station with a note just so that, she's going to be brought back to Skylar and all them. And Walt has Saul make him disappear with that man. And he's waiting on the sidewalk there where Jesse was waiting. before he flipped out. But yeah, he has his barrel full of all of the money and everything, and he goes in the van with the guy, and he just leaves, and that's how the episode ends. So I'm thinking maybe the next episode will take place in the future, like maybe even way in the future, like a couple years. That's possible. Now, Walt has his hair grown out and a beard grown out, so we know it's going to be at least some time, because that's from the beginning of this season, of the break. So, with that little future jump there. But so he has all his hair grown up, so it's been time. So that at least gives us some clue what's going to happen. But I think he's going to go back to the house, get the ricin, put the ricin in a cigarette that Jack smokes, so they kill him, and he's just going to kill everyone else with the machine gun. I think that's maybe the only possibility, and maybe he's going to work with Jesse to try to kill Jack, even though Jesse is, like, really, like, on the opposite side of Walt now. And I forgot to say this. When Walt is leaving and Jack and all his people have Jesse, he tells him that, I seen your girlfriend die in front of me, and I could have saved her and she was overdosing, but I didn't. And like that, you could see Jesse's face, like what kind of man are you? Like, just crazy. Like this episode was ridiculously good. This whole series is really good. It's sad that it's coming to an end, but everything has to. And really, ending on a high note is something that's good. Look at Seinfeld. It's still loved today because it ended on a high note. And I think that's what Breaking Bad is trying to do. And like I said in the beginning, it looks like they're going to be doing a spin-off called Better Call Saul. So I don't know how that's going to pan out. I hope it's just as good as Breaking Bad. But that's like some big expectations right there. So we'll see, guys. But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching, and bye.